My mother just paid me the greatest non-verbal compliment. Let me explain. I told you that I make these concoctions. I'm not a cook. Believe me, I am not a cook. I throw together concoctions that pretty much revolve around beans, canned beans, the good high fiber beans. I guess probably all beans have fiber. Brown rice or couscous. I just recently tried whatever that couscous, whatever it is. Couscous it is? No, quinoa. Brown rice or quinoa. Vegetables, fresh and frozen. And meat, some kind of meat, be it ground turkey or white meat chicken or dark meat chicken, or even I did pork one time. We had pork chops one night, and then I used the pork. I put a pork chop with it, put it in. I would make concoctions with it. I throw it all together. I add spices, and I just throw in. I don't measure. And my mother must have particularly loved last night's. It was a little different than I usually make it. Just I did different vegetables. She had it for lunch today. You think she didn't have a million choices to have for lunch? She could have had tuna, she could have had eggs, she could have had a shake. She could have had, I just bought some veggies to try them because they have the same fiber and protein as the Special K. They were on sale for $5 and stuff. And you get 2 extras. So try them. She could have had anything for lunch. She decided to have lots of it over dinner. And so she's not lying. I think she liked this dinner better than even the ones in the past. She always says she likes them, but she had it for lunch. So I mean, she must have really liked it. I just had it for lunch too. It's good. And it fills you up. It has a can of kidney, a can of pinto, and a can of black beans. I make a whole big thing of it. We'll be having it for dinner tonight. We're going to skip tonight. I said we got it for lunch, but we have salad, and then we do something. I don't like to waste it. It has a whole package of ground turkey, 3 different cans of beans, frozen package of zucchini, frozen package of carrots, 4 red peppers, fresh red peppers my mom cut up, a package of onion and green peppers, and that's it. Oh, and garlic and spices and brown rice, all mixed together. It was tasty. I'm not a cook, so I want a package of onions too. Almost a bag. No. It came out good. All of them have come out good. I think I particularly cared for I really liked last night's too. And I just do variations, different things. And my mother just really liked last night's one. Maybe particular spices went together better. Maybe, zucchini and carrots. And I don't know. It was good. Good thing too, because I have a big giant thing of it. Yeah, skillet thing, I forget what it's called. Turbo cooker. She's a turbo cooker. Filled the whole thing overpiling. So we'll be eating that for dinner, but put in the Mr. Lids and put in the freezer. We can have it again. I just had some with I put a little bit of sour cream, just as a different treat. So I am admittedly, but also understandably, always waiting for the ball to drop. Okay. how I've been conditioned to be throughout my life, When I was back in LA and living with Max and his mom, under circumstances where he could throw me out at a moment's notice. She likely wouldn't, but he could, and he threatened to all the time, so I was never, safe. And believe me, it wasn't based on how I behaved. It was just whether he would decide to, anything could set him off, so he kept threatening to throw me out. He never did. He'd only acquiesced to us. He didn't want me there, of course, but then once I was there, he had a drinking partner, and more importantly, he had someone that he could look down on. He'd see me crying when he cried because she was a loser, Laura, snide and whatever. I was at my worst point. I was fat. I was homeless. I was relying on his good graces. My family had turned against me back here in Massachusetts. It was hell. Only two things made it less hell before she ultimately wound up turning on me. And she did that before, months and months and months before she ever found out about you two. And you wonder why I'm waiting for the ball to drop always? Well, think about it. My worst nightmare came. Oh, but the two things that made it were her kindness towards me and Omar, but I was always waiting for the ball to drop, and then it did. My nightmare, the thing I had imagined would be the worst thing to happen, because I would not only be thrown out instantly, but also Donald might hurt me, It's not like he hadn't hurt me in the past. Not like it couldn't happen. Not like he didn't try to hurt me 2 months after he had nearly killed me in 2008, November of 2008, just a couple or so months later, he tried to hurt me again. It's just like ran up the stairs and got away and locked the door, and he took off to his cousins for 3 weeks. He knew I had seen murder in his eyes, so it's not like he doesn't have it in him. But I turned to the internet because as my lame attempt to save my sorry-ass life that I didn't care about saving, honestly. I did it for her. But while I was, at least it was a balance, at least I could have a little bit of support and friendship out on the internet while I was dying in my real life and wandering around shit-faced and whatnot. She turned on me because she was frustrated with her life and I was an easy scapegoat. But her turning on me still didn't negate anything kind that she had done for me, She had treated me with kindness repeatedly, So that's why when she turned on me, I couldn't take it. I expected her son to be a bastard, but her to turn on me, I couldn't take it. And that's when I really, really could have so easily died. Died or worse. But my nightmare came to be somebody who had seen me on YouTube and who hated me actually got a hold, I don't know how, got the phone number. I don't understand how. It has something to do with, I guess, Donald's wireless internet or something, because the phone number was listed in his mom's name and they have different last names. It wasn't listed in his name. It was under her. The bill came to her. I don't know how. I don't know. All I know is that my nightmare came to be some bitch called up that house and spoke to Donald's mom and was talking about how I was bad-mouthing them on the internet. But my friends know why I was bad-mouthing them. My friends know the truth. My friends know that I just didn't say mean, be mean to be mean or to have an audience. No, they were doing things that were killing me. Figuratively speaking, killing me. Both of them would gang up on me, and they wanted to fucking drinking all the time. I was getting fatter and getting no way back. So the ball did drop, didn't it? The ball dropped, my worst nightmare. And when I was in that situation, it came to me, and yet I wasn't thrown out. I know my enemies were furious I was not thrown out. I don't know why I was thrown out. I know that somebody out here, I know who it is, and he knows or she knows who they know who they are. I actually wrote an email to Donald because I couldn't end up to hack. I mean, he used to let me use his computer. I got into his computer. He would leave his Hotmail open. He would use my downstairs computer, which was really his, and he'd forget to close out his Hotmail and whatnot. So I saw the email. The email came probably right around the same time as that woman called the house. They wanted to get me thrown out, and they knew about Donald, so they also probably hoped he would hurt me, but really they just wanted me thrown out. It didn't happen. I was gonna leave. Hope didn't force me to leave. Hope told me that Donald knew that someone had written to him. But what I think happened is Donald feared what he didn't want to know. So he got that email. So he knew I was talking about him on the internet, but he didn't actually go and investigate my channel. Otherwise, who knows what would have happened. See? So I was never thrown out. I didn't know why. But I would have left, but I didn't leave. I still stayed there and we pretended, Like I told you, Donald liked having me there so he could put me down and so he could have someone to drink with, It's not like he ever confronted me on it. He didn't talk to me about it. He let me still stay there. Donald didn't do that out of kindness, believe me. You know anything about abusers, you know he loved having me right where he wanted me, where he could throw me out at a moment's notice, where I was a fucking homeless nothing on welfare, and he knew he had me right where he wanted me. When the shit finally hit the fan, had nothing to do with you two. Had nothing to do with you two. It had to do with the one thing that I couldn't keep my mouth shut about. And that was Omar's health and safety. It had always been Omar's health and safety. I can be a good little girl. I can keep my pretty little mouth shut when Hope's sitting there and it's forgiving or ignorant. Well, Laura, black people are naturally less intelligent than white people. Yeah, whatever, whatever. And anything else you can possibly think of ignorant, and I have to smile and just listen because they can throw me out at a moment's notice, But I couldn't keep my mouth shut when it came to Omar. I couldn't. And I knew better than to say anything to Hope. But the day I stopped at the vets, I didn't have Omar with me, I stopped at the vets and found out what I already had known was true. Omar had not seen the inside of a vet's office in 3.5 years. I already knew that was true, but I just wanted to hear it from them, Hadn't seen the inside of a vet's office in 3.5 years. And it's okay that we weren't given the dog vaccinations every year, because a lot of people don't believe you should give vaccinations every year. We don't give vaccinations every year. Why do dogs have to have vaccinations every year, The argument goes both ways, and I'm not going to debate that here, but the fact is, dogs still should have a general checkup once in a while. I hadn't seen the inside of a vet's office in 3.5 years. I knew I was going to be staying much longer there. They were just both killing me. And I didn't want to leave my dog unless, I knew that they would take care of him and whatnot. I was all upset. came, quote-unquote, home that day. This is going to be the day that Donald ultimately strangled me that night, because I refused to just leave with the clothes on my back, just walk out the door at 8 o'clock at night. I was all upset. So I vented to Donald. I yelled about how his mom was feeding him too much people food and wouldn't let him eat his dry dog food, and his teeth were rotting out of his skull, blah, blah, whatever. I vented. I was upset. If Donald knew better than to tell his mom, I thought he wouldn't tell his mom, but he got upset with me that night over something stupid as usual. And he goes, "No, Mom, you don't know. She was yelling today." And that's when, fire came out of Hope, saying, what was she yelling about? About the dog. And then, you can't say anything to Hope. She hates you if you disagree with anything she thinks, says, does, or feels. She thinks she's right about everything. And, typical devout Christian, even though she's not even bad as far as I'm concerned, the way she behaves. But it doesn't really matter. Can't disagree with anything she thinks, says, does, or feels. Give you an example. Just because George Bush said that he's a good Christian man, she would always say, well, he's a good Christian man. Oh, he can say anything, Hope. He can be saying that and boiling babies in secret society or something. I'm not saying he was. I'm saying he could be. I'm just saying that you can say anything, but she just takes it hook, line, and sinker and whatnot, But she's a devout Christian and can't disagree with anything she thinks, says, does, or feels, even when it comes to Homer's health and safety. And this, even while it was getting worse and worse, I was trying to reason with her. I was saying, Hope, he hasn't seen the beds in 3.5 years, and you're feeding him too much people food, his teeth are right. She didn't want to hear it, and nothing I said all went in one ear out the other. It's important for their teeth to be clean. They're just like us, Hope. Blah, blah, blah. All she heard was, you're criticizing me. It's all she heard, no matter what I said. And she assumed I was drinking. When she also said, you better watch her, I'm going to call the cops on you. In one ear and out the other. It was so good. I didn't make trouble. I listened to all their bullshit. Donald and I could never even watch a movie without him and his arrogance shutting it off and having to give his long tirade or commentary on the movie. I could never just enjoy watching it. Now I finally can. If anything, I just have to keep my mom from falling asleep. I certainly don't have to worry about her interrupting every 5 minutes. No reasoning with either of them. Wonder why I turned to the fucking internet. I actually had friends saying, your ex's mom or whatever, she's nuts, she's cuckoo. I get upset because she's feeding him too much jalapeno potato chips, and I wind up being ganged up on him, laying on the bathroom floor upstairs and curled up in the fetal position, crying my eyes out while I'm hearing Donald say downstairs, just throw out. Okay? Of course I'm going to be waiting for the ball to drop. My mom's been mentally ill for 34 years. Marianne has ways, especially if Marianne and the aunt with kids are gang, twist things all around and gang up on my mom and say, what are you doing, whatever. My mom will turn against me. I can see it happening. Fortunately, I have money now. I've told my mom I'll just leave. I said, you can't stop me from getting a lawyer. You can't stop me from talking to anybody, like your social worker or whatnot. I'll leave, Mom. I'll take Omar. I'll leave. But I know that intellectually, but inside I just feel constant fight or flight, That's how I lived back there, LA. And then, but it's how I've lived since, too, because I was on the streets for 7 days, and it was time to go. My mom shouldn't even have to do it behind Marion's fucking back. Send me money somewhere and I can live, so we're not on the streets for the night. Send me more hotel money so I can get some cheap fucking hotel, But that's how it is. It's not supposed to be like that with power of attorney relationship. It's power. Marion has complete power over my mother, and I can't. It's just all wrong. It's gonna get ugly. My shelter friend doesn't understand me. Because now I have like $14,000. She's like, Laura, you should be arrogant. You should be cocky as hell. You have this money. They can't just, your aunt can't do anything to you. The worst that can happen is you have to leave here, but you can go get a room. You're safe now. She tries to drill it into me. And I know it in here, and I can't feel it in here because I was in an abusive situation for so fucking long, and in the end it was 2 people abusing me. 2 people ganging up on me over things that I would share with my internet friends, and they would totally agree with me that Donald and his mom were cuckoo. They calling me cuckoo. I'm a horrible person because I don't want you feeding over so many potato chips. You think I'm potato chips? Ganged up on me, made to feel like shit because I got upset because Donald had already told his mom she would don't feed Doma so many jalapeno potato chips, and she continued to do it. She ignored him, and then we were all drinking, and I usually wouldn't even say a word, but I was getting angry, and then all hell broke loose. Because I'm living there for free. I'm not allowed to say anything, even when it comes to my dog's health. Okay? When you're in that situation, no one can understand who's never been in that. You are in constant anxiety, tension, terror, and the fact is I was talking about them behind their back, and I feared every fucking day. I had to make sure, what if I accidentally leave YouTube up and Donald goes on that computer and finds out? What if somebody contacts him? What if? And then it happened. Someone actually wrote, I don't know how they got the address it had to do with, I don't know.